Growing up, you know, a lot of metal bands had a certain air of mystery about them. But I think by far the most mysterious band was Venom. They were this black metal band who had this diabolical imagery, and the photos of the band were always very obscured on the backs of their album covers. And even into making Metal Headbanger's Journey, we talked a lot about Venom, but we never got to meet or interview the band. And then finally, when we did Metal Evolution, we got an interview with Abaddon, the infamous drummer of Venom. He came down by train from Newcastle and met me at the Crobar in London, and instantly the guy was like the head comedian of extreme metal. He had me in stitches the entire conversation about pyro and all of the crazy stuff that had happened on stage. Okay, Abaddon, take one. That was quite soft. All right, well, thanks for doing this.
That's very cool, very cool.
Let's start with when you guys started out. What was your original intention in terms of the music and your kind of imagery and that sort of stuff?
We all grew up kind of influenced by pretty much the same sort of bands: Judas Priest, Kiss, Deep Purple, Motorhead, these type of bands. But we didn't think, even Black Sabbath, we didn't think that they were extreme enough. And we thought there was room for a band. We didn't particularly set out to be more extreme, it's just that that's the way we were. Guys in the north of England at that time, it's a very industrial area, and guys tended to be kind of street rats. And when you got in a band, you kind of got in a band and you know, you were either playing punk or you're playing heavy metal, or you were playing variations of both. And we were still influenced quite a lot by the punk movement. It was a very London thing, but we were obviously very aware of it. And the punk thing was kind of about not necessarily being great musicians, but being kind of fantastic band members and really putting across a message and really sort of being pretty extreme. And we liked that. And we thought that there was a good crossover between the more extreme heavy metal bands, which were still a bit kind of, you know, staid, and the more kind of extreme punk bands, and we fitted in there really easily. And because of the way we were, because of the way we'd grown up, it was no hardship. It was really easy to be an extreme band right from the first rehearsal.
Did you want to get a reaction out of people?
As a band, yes, because I think everybody does. I think as a band, it's a bit pointless jumping up on stage unless you want to get a reaction. I think I'm probably wrong again, but I think a lot of the British bands, like the indie bands, the kind of no, the bands that don't have any kind of image, or no image bands, get up there and just kind of strum away on the guitar. I think, well, you must be playing for some people. You must be playing for a reaction. So yeah, we wanted a reaction, but we wanted a reaction to everything, to backdrops, to drum rises, to, you know, we didn't go up there and say, okay, we're preaching. We were very strong about this. We're not preaching Satanism. If you take something from the lyrics, or you take something from what we say, and you take that on board, then that's you know, you're a thinking, growing human being, and that's up to you. But I don't think we were ever preaching, because we were so against people who were preachers and going around kind of in America and around the Midwest and would come across to England and spread a bunch of lies, as far as we were concerned, and suck people in and take money off them. We were very concerned that that's not what we were doing. We were a band, and you came to see the band, and you came to see the performance. If you liked the sleeve, you liked the sleeve. If you thought it was too extreme and you wanted to take it out of the record store, then take it out of the store. It didn't matter either way.
Why that motivation to take things? So, like, as I remember seeing you guys and hearing you guys for the first time, it felt really extreme, really over the top. So why go that length to take it over the top like that?
Well, I think we all thought the same, in that if you're going to do it, then do it to the nth degree. If you're going to do pyro, don't just do some pyro, do some over-the-top pyro, and just go absolutely nuts and see, you know, what you can get away with. And we were the same with all the imagery, the same with the lyrical content, same with the jackets on the album covers, and this kind of stuff. And it was all about being as extreme as possible.
Yeah, Black Metal was the first Venom record that I got, and I think I must have been 13, 14, 15, and I was frightened. I mean, even though I liked it, it still had the reaction of like being shocked by it. I was like, holy fuck, what is this?
Well, I mean, that's what we wanted. We kind of thought that it would be something where the parents would sort of react negatively to it, which quite a lot of them did. And funnily enough, Welcome to Hell went into all the major stores. Black Metal went to all the major stores, and the one that they banned was At War with Satan, which was the third album cover, which is basically a brown sleeve. And I was like, I don't get it anymore. I just don't understand. It's just brown. It says At War with Satan. I just didn't understand. One company, one distributor from, I think from Greece, actually ordered it as At War with Spain. And I thought, what have we got to get in Spain? What the fuck?
You mentioned Kiss. Were they an influence in terms of your whole stage show or visual presentation?
Not for me personally, but Mantis, the guitar player, was massively into Kiss. And he loved all the pyro, but he also loved all the kind of theatricals, which I particularly didn't like. I thought it's kind of too much of a circus. It's too much of a, you know, sort of rubber studs and things, and it was a bit too, you could see through it, you know, and it was a little bit too daft. But I can see why I liked it. But I mean, our kind of approach to pyrotechnics was to be extreme and huge and over the top. Kiss would have like 30 odd sort of pyros in the first song or something, but we'd have like one, but it would blow the floor up, you know. And it was like, that was the kind of thinking.
Tell me about the pyro and how you used to make it.
We couldn't find anywhere to buy stuff other than, there's a company called Lemaitre, and what they used to do was make little round pots with little plugs in. You'd plug them in, they go poof. And they were very safe and very PC and all this kind of thing. And what I did was go away and get a lot of these little pots, open them all up and put them into one big thing in like a rehearsal room situation. All the guys would be ready, and we kind of went, I plugged it into the wall, didn't think about just using batteries or something, just plugged it into the sort of 13 amp, sort of 3, 2, 1, boom, and the rehearsal room ceiling fell down. And everybody was like running like fuck, and all the equipment was covered in ceiling. And I was like, oh, okay, we're onto something, but we just have to work out, like, you know, how to keep this kind of, you know.
Need a higher ceiling.
Bigger rooms. So I worked in a factory, and we found out from a place to go and buy black powder from the mines, from a guy at the mines, because the mines in Ashington and Bedlington, where we live, were still running then. So we bought open black powder, so we didn't have to go and get all these little fiddly things that were expensive anyway. We would just get quite a lot. And I made some tubes that were like about, what, year thick, centimetre and a bit thick, with a big steel plate on the bottom, welded on the bottom. And we made some boxes. And what we had was we had 3 of these tubes in each box. And then around the tubes, we filled it with sand. And then we put a lid on. So I'm thinking, well, the sand's going to take the implosion, you know? And we had 12 of these boxes. And when we went to America the first time, Metallica were opening up for us. We were playing in the Paramount Theatre, Staten Island. And we set all these up, put all the powder in, put the lids on so the other bands could play. Took the lids off, put the fuses in, ready to play. We set the explosion off, and it's the most immense, you'll see on the DVD, it's the most immense explosion. This was indoors, this one here is outdoors, but it was indoors. And this gigantic explosion, and we just got on with the set and got on with the song. And did the set, and when we finished, somebody pointed out that we'd blown a hole in the stage, and we'd ruptured the pipes underneath the water pipes, and there was water flowing everywhere, and it was like, fuck. But he said that wasn't the worst. What was worse was it was quite a big venue, and they had a balcony around the venue, and one of the pots was missing. The box had blown up, and the pot was missing, and it was lodged in the wall on the balcony, just sort of sunk into like fucking concrete. And we were like, that flew a long way. It was one of the guys who was an American guy, he was this big kind of bouncer, big grizzly bear guy. And he was like, you know, man, he says, I was in Nam, and he says, I would go back to Nam, but I won't go back on stage with that stupid fucking band.